I think it's important you went around with Senator Doug Jones, who's highly respected in the Senate on both sides of the aisle, but you got to meet other senators. I was delighted you came to spend time in my office, and you noted in your public remarks at the White House when you were nominated that your parents were married for 54 years, and both public servants in their own right. And they were proudly watching you being announced by the president, and I must admit, watching them the last couple of days, they're proudly watching you here, as have other members of your family. Your younger brother became a police officer, detective in Baltimore before serving the Army, two tours of duty in the Middle East, two uncles that served as police officers. So I'm not really surprised that you understand law enforcement. The National Fraternal Order of Police has expressed strong support for your nomination. In fact, in their letter dated February 25th, 2022, they said you have considered the facts and applied the law consistently and fairly on a range of issues. And they went on to say there's little doubt you have the temperament, intellect, legal experience, and family background to earn this appointment. And they added, we are reassured that should she be confirmed, she'd approach her future cases with an open mind, treat issues related to law enforcement fairly and justly. Chair Durbin, I'd ask consent that the letter from the Fraternal Order of Police be included in the record at this point.
Without objection.
Now, that's a statement from the largest law enforcement labor organization in the United States. What do you say to people who say you're soft on crime or even anti-law enforcement because you accepted your duties as a public defender?
Thank you, Senator. I would make I'd make three observations in response to those critiques. The first is that as someone who has had family members on patrol and in the line of fire, I care deeply about public safety. I know what it's like to have loved ones who go off to protect and to serve, and the fear of not knowing whether or not they're going to come home again because of crime in the community. As you said, my brother patrolled the streets of Baltimore, and I had two uncles who were career law enforcement, including one who became the chief of police of the City of Miami Police Department in the 1990s. So crime and the effects on the community and the need for law enforcement, those are not abstract concepts or political slogans to me. The second observation that I would make is that as a lawyer and as a citizen, I care deeply about our Constitution and about the rights that make us free. As you say, criminal defense lawyers perform a service, and our system is exemplary throughout the world precisely because we ensure that people who are accused of crimes are treated fairly. It's very important to me in that capacity as a lawyer and as a citizen. I'm sorry. I was just going to say the third thing I would say is as a judge. As a judge, I care deeply about the rule of law. And I know that in order for us to have a functioning society, we have to have people being held accountable for committing crimes. But we have to do so fairly under our Constitution. As a judge, who has to decide how to handle these cases, I know it's important to have arguments from both sides, to have competent counsel. And it doesn't mean that lawyers condone the behavior of their clients. They're making arguments on behalf of their clients in defense of the Constitution and in service of the court. And it is a service.
Well, I know in our conversation, I'd mentioned my own experience as a prosecutor. I wanted the best defense attorney on the other side because you want to make sure that as the trial went on, everything was done properly.